Moving on, in a stunning display of unparalleled foresight, the BMC has managed to turn its latest project, the Gopal Krishna Gokhale Bridge, into an infrastructural mess. The bridge, touted as an engineering marvel by BMC itself, has proved to be more of a marvel in bureaucratic bungling. The misalignment of height between the Gokhale Bridge and the connecting Barfiwala Bridge means that there is a 3 to 6 feet gap between the two bridges, rendering it absolutely inaccessible. In fact, if we can just get those visuals out, we would just like to show you that particular gap between the two bridges that are almost running parallel to each other. And these are the visuals, and as we move forward, we will show you the gap that is very clearly seen between the two bridges. Now, due to this, people commuting will not be able to access the Barfiwala flyover anymore. Now, look at this. That's the space, that's the gap really one is talking about. It is unimaginable that something that has taken so long for renovation, for something to be rebuilt, and now this whole mess that seems to have created. And in fact, the irony of it all is, commuters thought they would be able to save time, but that really is not the point anymore. It's not just the fact that they are not together, they are not joined together. It's also the fact about how there seems to be a height difference between the two. So the question of commuters, their miseries being solved, does not stand merit at all. Now the question is, how did the BMC manage to mess it up? As per BMC, and those are the visuals that you should see very carefully, the irony, really the irony of a bridge that was, the opening of which that was widely reported just few days ago. Now, as per BMC, the Union Ministry's latest guidelines mandates that any new railway overbridge should be constructed at an additional height of 1.5 meters. And BMC promptly followed it without realizing that it is not going to align with the earlier constructed Barfiwala flyover. This blunder, orchestrated by the country's wealthiest municipal body, leaves citizens marveling not at the bridge's engineering, but at the bureaucratic acrobats as well as the fallacies. In fact, BMC has now come out with a statement saying they were given a plan by the railways and they have just about followed it. Remember, BMC had claimed that it's one of the busiest stretches with railway lines under it, and without interrupting any of that, they were able to renovate and reconstruct this bridge. Partially, that has now been opened to commuters. I'm being joined right now by Chandrashekhar Prabhu, architect and urban planner, to try and understand what are we really looking at. See, thank you very much, Chandrashekhar Prabhu, for joining us. There are so many aspects of what I really want to ask you. One is, of course, the fact that commuters' misery seems to be where it is. But before we even reach that point, sir, these visuals that you are seeing on your screen of two bridges not meeting. Now, possibly they may need another bridge, and I'm being very tongue-in-cheek to be able to bridge this gap. But, what really is this? I mean, it may get tossed between blame games, but what is this really?
See, there are several reasons that could be. We can only make a conjecture as to what could be the reasons. Basically, this is a systemic failure. The system has failed. On one side, there is the railway. On the other side, there is the BMC engineers. On the third side, there is an existing bridge which exists. Now, it's not rocket science to marry all the three, the requirements of the railway with the requirement of the BMC with regard to load and with the connectivity to the Barfiwala flyover. It's a very, very basic and simple thing which was overlooked. Believe me, I've known BMC engineers all my life, and I've known some of the very good quality engineers in the BMC as well. Of course, every system has its rotten eggs or rotten apples or whatever you call it. But by and large, I don't think the engineers of the BMC are such duds that they won't understand this. I don't think that is so. The railway engineers also are a set of smart people. Now, what is it that went wrong? You know, what was required is some authority to coordinate between the two. I mean, check where the existing Barfiwala flyover comes, check the requirement of the railway, check whatever is the load patterns that is required by the BMC, and marry the two. It's very, very simple. It's basic. There's nothing complicated into it. The system has essentially failed, which I feel is the real thing. Now, going back, other than the failure of the system, if one were to really decide as to, go into the other reasons as to what can be the case, that the contractor was decided in advance and the hurry was to get it done before the election, and in their hurry, all these safeguards and things which need to be taken care of were just forgotten. I mean, just start the work and complete it as early as possible because elections are around the corner and we need to complete it. That could be one of the reasons where they just put all caution to the wind and they just said, do whatever but complete it. That could be one of the reasons. The third reason, obviously, is that there is massive corruption going on between all authorities concerned. And when there is so much of corruption, then reason goes under the table. Then there is the technicalities, the technical reason, merits all go for a toss. It's all corruption. You know that the guy who has been given a work is hand in glove with the top bosses, so we don't want to give him instruction.
Okay.
Or the person who has come in due to some corrupt activity may be someone who's not listening to anybody. He says, who are you to tell me? I'll do my work. And he's done his work, he's got his payment.
Okay. All right. No, Chandrashekhar Babu, just last one question. Now, to rectify this, how much would be the cost expenditure? I mean, you obviously can't give us the exact, but if you look into the estimates, just for us to understand the taxpayers' money, how it's going to be abused.
Can't say. It depends on it depends on what strategy they are going to follow. You see, one strategy which generally they do is, they'll find fault with the old Barfiwala flyover and say, now let's demolish that. So there is new work to be done. That could be one of the things. Then the other could be you have a ramp.
I mean, this is going to get it's going to be so messy, not only on the road, but even bureaucratically. This is just classic case of how things should not have been handled. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us with those details and trying to help us understand how this really is so botched up on the ground. The man who helped rescue the 41 workers trapped in Uttarakhand's tunnel is now homeless. This after his house in Delhi's Khajuri Khas area was razed in a demolition drive yesterday. The victim, rat hole miner Wakil Hassan, claims that his house was demolished without any prior notice. The Delhi Development Authority, on its part, has said the demolition drive was carried out on land that was part of planned development land. Cops, meanwhile, say that multiple structures built illegally were demolished during the drive.
सर कि मेरे साथ मैं इस चीज को क्या कहूँ, इसे आप बेहतर तरीके से समझा सकते, पूरा समाज समझ सकता है कि मेरे साथ ये रवैया किस तरीके का मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि देश के लिए हमने इतना अच्छा काम किया। मैं अपने मुंह से अपनी तारीफ नहीं करना चाहता और अच्छी भी नहीं लगती है। लोग कहते हैं बहुत अच्छा काम किया और मुझे उस काम का सिला ये मिला कि मेरे घर पे, मेरे छत पे, जो मेरे सर पे जो छत थी टूटी फूटी, वो भी मेरे से छीन ली गई। अब मेरे बच्चे रोड पे बैठे हुए हैं सर। अब इन बच्चों को लेकर मैं कहाँ जाऊंगा पूरी जिंदगी। अब ये बात देखिए, आदमी का आजकल कमाना मुश्किल हो रहा है, वो घर कहाँ से लेगा, उसे बनाएगा कहाँ से, अपने बच्चों को कहाँ से पालेगा।
ने रेड मैनेज का घर तोड़ा गया है, 41 मजदूरों को जिन्होंने बचाया था एडीए द्वारा, क्या
उनको घर दे देंगे, उनको घर देंगे सर ने,
वो मुझे बताया गया है और उसको जरूर हम कंपनसेट करेंगे, उसको घर भी दिया जाएगा।
PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti, however, claimed that the miner's house was demolished over his religion. The Delhi Development Authority, on its part, refuted these claims. The authority said that the demolition drive was not only against the miner, but another family as well. The DDA said that in 2017, it was discovered during inspections that Gokhale and the Goyal family were encroaching upon the 2 of the 3 land parcels in question. This violation was reported to the police, leading to a scheduled demolition program set for June 2018. The DDA said that Gokhale had been aware of the previous encroachment, which was removed in 2016, yet he re-encroached on the land in 2017.
Rat miner who saved 41 people in Uttarakhand incident last year is now homeless himself. When 41 workers were trapped in Uttarakhand tunnel, these rat miners were the one who went there and saved them, but now one of them is homeless and staying on the roads, and you can see that this is the house demolished by the DDA authority, and they are living under a temporary tent right now. Hassan Gokhale also have 3 children and 1 wife who are now homeless, and he says that he was assured by the authorities that his house. So now you can see that the family of the rat miner is living under a temporary tent outside their house on the roads, and you can see these little faces who are hopeless now because they have not get any help. They have gotten assurance from the government and from some politicians, but now they have to live like this on roads, and they are living here from yesterday since the demolition happened. And you can see now that they are demanding justice from the government. This is the same rat miner who saved 41 people from Uttarakhand.
It's time for a short break. Do stay tuned for all the latest on the other side.